Hello, this is the 77th lecture of the Semantic SEO course. In this lecture, we will be examining our specific first sentences for all these list items. In every list item sentence, we are directly connecting our specific contextual term to the directly water intoxication. And at the same time, if you check our page-wide contextual verse here, we will realize that drink too much water. It will be appearing all the page sections, nearly all paragraphs or nearly all the sentences all the time. But if you look at our specific list items, you will realize that we usually have a definitional sentence, and it is always connected to water intoxication with the confusion or double vision or drowsiness or other types of connected symptoms. And whenever we have a certain type of symptom, we have some words that will be appearing here together with water intoxication, and some of them won't be appearing here. So first we actually adjust our distributional semantics. Then we start to actually examine, or let's say adjust our sequence modeling by telling mild, severe, or let's say rare symptoms or mild water intoxication. And then we also start to give different types of numeric values, measurement units or conversions or resources as well. So if I come to the bathroom trip frequency here, you will realize that we have talked about bathroom trip frequency before. And in this section, or in that section, basically we defined this specific thing, and after defining it, we directly explained normal bathroom trip frequency, which is a different type of phrase sequence, and also the unique engram that we have used in this area. And inside the information graph, or in the context of knowledge-based construction, we should understand one more thing. To be able to create a successful semantic content network, it is not always about internal links. It is about internally aligned information. In other words, if I define bathroom trip frequency or bathroom trip in another web page, whatever I tell here, it will be aligning with that. And the search engine will be taking this paragraph in the context of water intoxication. And whenever we use this specific phrase in another web page, they will be taking this specific phrase in the context of that macro context. But still, the information that we are giving in this area, they will need to be aligning together. So in this case, here too, we tell that it is one of the symptoms for water intoxication. We classify it as normal or non-normal. Then we give some certain type of numeric values and ranges. Then we start to give the factors for that. And we start to talk about hydration levels or the consumption of diuretics. And here we give the examples of this specific class. Then we use and or context, underlying medical conditions. If you are going to the bathroom more than 10 times within a 24-hour period, it's an early signal of water intoxication, which means this is an early symptom at the same time. If you are drinking too much water, you will likely need to go to the bathroom a lot more, according to Dr. Ananya Mandal from the West Bengal, India. And we have further information here for other connected contexts. But my main point here is, if we have used this concept in another web page, if we defined it, you will need to align the information and you will need to expand it further. If we have used it together with the water intoxication or overhydration, or different types of, let's say, benefits, harms, or the risks, all these things will be evaluated together. The important thing here is giving the most relevant and contextually related section together with a specific macro context. In another macro context, you can use this specific section with a different type of distributional semantics and sequence modelings, and also semantic role labels as well. So drinking water without necessity, for instance, in this area too, we give a definition. Then we further expand it, and these expansions too, they are representative. For instance, here we just gave the normal bathroom trip frequency, but we can actually give the excessive ones. In this area, we directly tell how to decrease the effect of the symptom, and here we give a kind of suggestion for it. We can actually give suggestions for athletes, models, older senior athletes, or toddlers, teenagers, etc. But then it will be an article just about the bathroom trip frequency, and this is not our main context here. That's why, again, one more time, we give the representative answers. The same thing happens here too. Drinking water necessity we talk about, and it is also connected to actually how much water or daily water intake calculation. That's why we give a calculation formula. Then at the same time, one more time, we cite this specific doctor, which is important, and to decrease the negative effects of drinking too much water, connected to here, which is an early symptom, which is connected to perceive or perceiving the specific symptom or how frequently it can be seen section is related to actually giving further information in these areas too. When it is seen, how to observe, how to prevent. This is always our contextual flow in these bottom parts. And here too, directly we give actually certain types of suggestions or the conditions, like if you feel thirsty, it is safe to assume that you need to drink more water to be properly hydrated. But if you do not feel thirsty, drinking water without any need is a sign of overhydration, can quickly lead to the water intoxication. And it continues like that. If I choose a random one, muscle cramps or colorless hands and feet and lips or double vision. Sorry for this voice if you hear that, because my cat is just, Sherlock is below and hitting me. As mentioned earlier, water intoxication often feels similar to the alcohol intoxication, especially in the ways it affects your mental processing. Mental processing, one more time, it is actually explained here like the, let's say, brain functions, which is related to the macro context area here. If you are experiencing water intoxication, your vision may become affected as it does with the drinking alcohol. This section is important because if double vision is connected to the multiple other aspects or multiple other conditions, it's important to use the same root word, like let's say a different context, but task management, project management, or team management, business management. Water intoxication and alcohol intoxication, they are actually sibling terms to each other. In both ways, we are using a certain type of fluid overly or too much. And in this case, they have a common symptom. That's why we are connecting it to the here. But we don't open a new page for that because it's not relevant to our source context. It could be if you will continue to create our topical map further, because we have non-alcoholic drinks and the mocktails inside our topical map. If you would like to go further, we could talk about the alcoholic drinks and the recipes as well, but it will be a little bit too distant and no need for that, at least for now. If you are experiencing water intoxication, as we tell, in this case, choosing the right predicate section is important here. Experiencing water intoxication or other types of specific words we can use. Sometimes I use these type of extensions to find certain type of synonyms like living, feeling, undergoing, or encountering, etc. And there are many other synonyms that we can use for a certain type of context. So in the next lecture, we will examine our supplementary content, and from there we will continue. Thank you.